my goodness. So finally, I get all these pieces installed. I think there's more studs and blocks in this corner or on this 1 foot bump out than in the whole place. Every time I kept adding a stud, I kept saying, tongue weight, tongue weight, tongue weight. If I had to do it over again, I don't think I would design it this way. Just too much wood going on here. Anyway, but the result is going to be cool in that the architectural interest will be good. But I've got it all blocked out between the rafters, and you can see the overhang right there. And that's where the soffit is. So I had to have a little dead wood for the, nailers for the soffit. That's what you see there. So we've got all this wrapped up. So I can finally, I'll get the foam in these corners and get that zip board up and get this thing all sided up. Well, you can see real closely now that it made a huge difference getting this rod in here first, because otherwise I could have never done it if I had all this lumber that you see that I've added. Getting a little snarky here. Okay, so I'm installing this panel on the corner, and in this case I've elected to take it vertical because I have such a short distance between the corner and the door that I want it all in the biggest piece that I can have. And I've even gone way up to the rafter, and I'm going to cut it flush. You can see where the glue is. I've kind of got too much glue on the end there. This is going to be glued and nailed just like the rest of it. But by having this single piece, it gives me so much more strength, and that's what I'm looking for. Of course, you can see where the expanding foam is expanding out of its corners, and obviously I'll cut that back before I install the sheeting. Okay, so we're getting ready to close up this front wall. You can see I've got these returns done, and it's coming along nicely. Remember now, I've got this 2x12 down here that's wedged in between the tongue channel, steel channel. And I'm really trying to just tie everything down. I've got my hold downs that are now concealed, but I'm going to take this bottom plate and I'm going to take these screws, some pretty significant screws, and I'm going to send them through the bottom plate, through the subfloor, and into this 2x12. That's the leading edge going down the road, and I'm going to tie it all together. We've got hurricane clips going up there. I'm going to do some straps, and I've got my threaded rod hold down, so we're going to make this thing very strong. So you see I'm getting close to having the zip system up, and you can see that L-shaped panel on the end of the door there. And I've run that sheeting all the way up to that top rafter, and what that allows me to do is to strap that rafter to the studs, and it just makes for a very strong system. I'll be doing that around the corner. Now, what that means out there on the tail is I have to add that 1/2 inch, actually 7/16 piece to that last little rafter so that it's even for when I do my soffit and my fascia, which we'll get into a little later. I've started the fascia board, and like so much of this work, very interesting and hard to do when you're doing it by yourself. I want to show you some of the things I'm doing up there to help myself make it a little easier. First, I want to show off the corner here, the joint that I've made on the 45. That's pretty sporty for a guy doing this with nobody on the other end. But I've got this little helper up here, this 2x4 that's just screwed in from the top. It's even adjustable by way of that screw, so I can lower it past this plywood right here and get down flush to the rafters where it needs to be. But I just screw that on there, and it kind of keeps things in place. And it's just loose up there. It's just laying up there. But it helps me hold that board in place. Pretty cool. So back to this joint, I'm gonna do some pilot holes for this corner so I don't split it. And this is pressure treated pine, so it'll hold up in the weather. Of course, it'll be painted. But it's pretty moist, damp right now, moisture content, and it's going to shrink up, and I hope that I don't lose too much of this joint, this nice work that I've done here on shrinkage. Otherwise, it's a nice looking piece, and this will serve as the complete fascia. The plywood will come down right here, and then the metal drip edge and everything over there. So this is just laying up here temporarily. You know, I've got that sheet pinned up there with the screw, ready to go back down when it's time. What you got there, Pete? I don't know. Oh, wait, but I know where it goes. Hold up. Whee! Whee! Let's see what Cody's up to. Trying to bury a bone? Hmm? Oh, look at your face. Cody. Bone's too big. Let me see it, Cody. Let me see your face. Oh. You're a mess.